Welcome back to the Resilient Philosopher. I am your host, Leon Dantes, and today I want to challenge everything you've been taught about leadership. You see, too many people believe that leadership is a title, a corner office, a paycheck, but the truth is much simpler and far more powerful. Leadership starts at home. Before you ever lead a company, a team, or a cause, you must first learn to lead yourself. And you must embody the principles you want others to live by. So, whenever you decide to take the initiative to start helping others become leaders, focus on yourself. And you can do this even at home, the way you treat your significant other at home, your children, your parents. That is where you take the first initiative towards leadership. When you decide to wait until you have a title or to pursue a title in leadership, you're already running behind your skills. So when you learn how to use it in your personal life first, apply it, help others, take that initiative, people will notice those skills. And therefore, the leadership positions will come in a lot quicker and easier. And there's a key point to understand. When you already are teaching your children, for example, at an early age to be accountable and responsible and integrity, it just becomes part of their identity. It's no longer something that you're teaching them, but it's actually something that is part of them. And therefore, they will do the same to others. So basically, they will teach their friends to have the same quality. And when it's engraved in their identity, chances are, even if somebody or someone tries to take it away from them, they will have the complete power to just say, no, I'm not going to change my ways in order to satisfy and to honor your projection of negativity on me. So, as individuals, we must recognize that yes, leadership is a skill that can be learned by anyone. But as I've talked in the past about dark psychology, for example, for a person who is narcissistic, it is extremely hard not to be driven by the ability to influence others to manipulation. There is a very thin line when it comes to influencing people and manipulating people. And it has mainly, from my perspective, it has to do with how or why we're doing what we're doing. When you do it because it's beneficial to the other person or to both of you, then it is most likely to come within the realm of influence, especially when you actually don't gain anything directly by it. Meaning, if a friend of yours comes to you and says, look, I have this problem at work. I really don't know how to handle it. Well, your advice will influence his decision and the outcome of how he addresses the issue. So when you analyze that, and I'm sorry, my phone went off. When you analyze that, then you realize that you have the capability to actually make a difference in somebody's life and influence them without gaining anything in return. Because in reality, the only person that is gaining is your friend, not you. Yet, um, let's change the scenario around. Let's say that you need help and you entice your friend through guilt and persuasion to drop everything they're doing in order to come and help you with your problem. Now, that is manipulation. Same friend, two scenarios, and two different tactics. That is why it's important that when we learn leadership skills in our personal life, we're surrounded by people that can actually clarify our tactics as if we're being influential or we're being manipulative. And this is important also because we live in a society nowadays where the lines are blurred. Some people consider that they're influencers because the amount of people that they have on social media, for example, their ability to sell merchandise online, because they are well known people in the social media. But in reality, when you come to terms within leadership and psychology, in my philosophy, those are not influencers. Those are actually salesmen. And what they're doing is using persuasive tactics, borderline, if not in a manipulative way, because they really don't care about you as an individual when it comes to the outcome of the stuff that they're offering you or selling you. They're using their image to promote a product that perhaps they don't even use or believe in, but it pays their bills. So that is why it is kind of hard to, for me at least, to view them as true influencers or kingmakers, let's say, because they do it thinking about themselves, not about you. Now, maybe not all of them are that way, and I'm generalizing a whole amount of people. And hey, if not all of them are like that, that's great. Uh, I wish I could hear more of them that are not like that. But as you see in my show, the only promotions I ever do are about my website, the book, etc. Are the things that I believe in. Now, I can tell you, for example, I personally use ChatGPT. They don't pay me. That would be a free commercial to them. But the reality is, if I ever was to offered to talk about ChatGPT, I would because I do use it. I mean, it's taken me, I would say, over a year to properly learn to use it in an ethical way. But nonetheless, I feel comfortable with promoting their material. I used to have the same issue when I was a roofing salesman, an estimator. It was easy for me to go up to a potential client and speak to them because I believed in what I was selling. I believed in the material, I believed in the company, the crew, because it was my brother's company and I knew the crew. I worked with them. I knew the material because I myself was a roofer. And as a roofer, I trusted the material to be the best material that I could offer the clients. So when I spoke to my clients, I didn't speak out of just self promotion or advertising myself or trying to sell myself to them. I just simply laid out the knowledge, the information that they needed in order to make an informed decision. Looking back, after studying furthermore into persuasion, manipulative tactics, um, influencing tactics, I realize now that perhaps I would have been more successful if I would have used those tactics. But the truth is, I am at peace of mind knowing that every customer I ever came across knew that I was talking with sincerity and that I have integrity for my work. I let my work speak for itself. I do not have to lie to a person in order to have them believe in me. And that is something that perhaps we have lost in society as well as we go along. And the reason why I say we've lost it in society is not so much that it's not being taught by the parents or by teachers, but after reading the book, Thinking Fast and Slow, I realized that sometimes we do things not because we mean to be manipulative or be just unattached, unemotional about something. No, sometimes we do it because it's the quickest way to react to something. Uh, it takes more effort to try to understand a person than it is to just say, okay, well, I give up on you. Bye. Then that, when we do that, yes, it is fast response, but it also shows lack of empathy. And as leaders, we need to realize that empathy is a key and a very important skill to have as a leaders. See, I used to tell my friend when we worked in manufacturing, I used to say when somebody approaches you with a problem, never, never minimize the problem. Because the moment that you minimize that problem, they will use that as an excuse to create mistakes. And when they're questioned, why didn't you come up and say something? They're simply going to blame you because they will say, look, if they don't care, why should I care? See, again, it is the quickest response, even though it's not the right one. When you personally have integrity and you take initiative, if you go to your group leader or supervisor with an issue and they minimize it and don't pay attention, and you believe that is a safety risk or a quality issue, then you should push it forward. There's always going to be a safety, a person in charge of safety. There's always going to be a person in charge of quality. Go and talk to them. If not, if it is a even more of a safety issue when it comes to your own safety, then go to HR. I'll talk to them about it. No supervisor or group leader should minimize situation. Now they should take time to explain the how it works scenario. Look, yes, that part does not look great. But if it gets worse, please do not hesitate to come back to me and let me know because I will call to get it resolved. See, when you did that, you didn't minimize the situation. You actually reciprocated their action by saying, I acknowledged you, you did a good job, but we're not there yet in order to address it. And that will make the person more likely to actually come back when it gets worse. Now, my friend always did that. I was just simply having a conversation with her because I wanted people around us to hear it. That's another tactic. Sometimes we think as leaders we have to keep things close tight. Oh, we cannot have. Okay. When it is a company concern that is not a situation that is personal, let's say your supervisor says to you, look, we're going to lay off 5 people. Yes, that has to stay between you and your supervisor. But when your supervisor comes up to you and says, look, we've been having this issue where things are not getting done, and 5 of your coworkers come over, don't change the conversation. You keep talking about it. Let them hear it so that way they know it's coming from your supervisor that the department is having an issue. So then you can address it directly to that one person. If that one person goes talking about it, they will say, oh, no, yeah, we overheard it in the desk that this was going on. I didn't know it was about you. Why did you let that happen? See, now you're getting the more people on your side, the better, basically. But these are tactics that even I had to learn little by little. There's no special handbook that can teach you all this stuff. Leadership skills evolve daily because you deal with different type of people on a daily basis. And sometimes even the same person doesn't react or act the same way every single day. So when you think as a leader or in a leadership position, you have learned everything and you have no more room of growth, maybe it is time to retire, as my friend says, because I just don't see it happening. Every single day is an opportunity to prove to yourself that you are growing by learning more, by paying more attention to your coworkers, having the ability to perceive situations before they arrive, knowing what each member of your team is truly capable of doing. So when you focus on certain on stuff like that, you actually give them the ability to grow. Personally, I enjoy helping others. It is my greatest joy, and I truly never knew that until I took a major role in a leadership position. And after that, I really realized that there's no more greatest joy than to see other people succeed and knowing that you at least a step within the foundation of their success. Remember, we can always be part of the foundation of the success of others. And by doing so, if we are the ones that were helped, we got to remember, don't burn that friendship with the person that helped you get there, with that mentor. Because as fast as you go up, you can come back down. And you can always have issues, even if you guys are in different positions within a company. You always can have a situation, an issue that they can help you with. So maintaining that friendship and that communication with them is essential. And leadership, you have to understand that everyone within the organization, it is part of the team. A person who cleans the restrooms, a janitor, is as important as the CEO because you never know where you're going to need the help from. You never know in life where or who is going to help you. So to put down somebody due to their title or due to their line of work, it's not only a negligence or a issue of intelligence, but it is also a mistake that can hurt you and haunt you for the rest of your career and life. Personally, I would say do the right thing always, not expecting anything in return because that would be a selfish way to do it. Do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, and it doesn't matter the outcome or the rewards from your actions. Again, this is why I believe that leadership should start at home and should be taught properly to our children, to our friends, and to everyone by example, by action. To lead is to serve. To serve is to empower others to become leaders, to empower others to truly reach their potential in life. And it's not a matter, and I think I've said this in the past, it's not a matter of becoming doctors or lawyers or engineers. No, no. Everyone is needed in this world. Every single person. If everybody was a doctor, who will fix cars? If everybody was fixing cars, who would engineer the cars? So, as you can see, we are all needed in this world. But as a professor that I had in accounting once pointed out to me, there's three jobs that no matter how bad of economy we have, no matter how bad everything gets, would always need to get done. You're always going to need construction done. You're always going to need agriculture done. And you're always going to need people to bury the dead. So think about that. Let it sink in. And you will realize in order to be a leader, you got to be willing to do whatever it takes in life to serve others. Not yourself, but to serve others. That will be under what is known as servant leadership. And that is exactly what we focus here on Vision Leon LLC when it comes to teaching leadership. We just released my first book, um, Leadership Lessons from the Edge of Mental Health. It is the Resilient Mind Volume 1, which means I'll be creating more books in the series. And I am also working on my first philosophy book. And this first philosophy book, it will cover everything that I've done work-wise within the podcast and at the website. And I truly hope that the message will reach to a lot of people. The book, my first book, is available in Amazon Kindle, and it is free to read for all Kindle Unlimited members. I encourage you to read it, give me feedback, and let me know. Let me know how I can improve. I'm always willing to learn how to improve and do things the right way. It is essential for all of us to listen to criticism and take it to build upon a foundation where we can grow as individuals. So I truly hope that my message will resonate with you, and please go ahead and share it. Go ahead and like this episode, give us a feedback, and let us know what else would you like to listen to from us. And I would like to remind you, as I always do, every day is a great day to learn something new.